Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny sent to Notorious prison camp.
Here's a summary of the article.
The lawyer for Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny confirms that his client has been moved from a Moscow jail to one of Russia's most notorious prison camps to serve his sentence. Navalny, who survived a poisoning attempt, is serving a 2-year 6-month sentence for defying probation terms while he was hospitalized for the poisoning. The facility, about 60 miles from Moscow, is known as a red zone prison, defined by the harsh manual labor prisoners must carry out. Activist Konstantin Kotov was freed from the prison after 18 months and told The New York Times he was constantly subjected to intimidation by guards and punishments for not saluting officers. He was also penalized with isolation for borrowing another inmate's gloves after the pair his relatives sent were confiscated. Alexei is going to have a very difficult time, Kotov said. The administration keeps tabs on your every move. The head of the Russian prison service told the state-run TASS news service that there was no threat to Navalny's health or life in prison.
This post received a score of 53,000, with an upvote ratio of 93%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Keep this in mind: Navalny's first message from prison was that he has no plans to commit suicide.
This guy is explicitly saying it since he knows he will show up dead. Really amazing convictions.
This guy knew what would happen the minute he stepped foot back in Russia. A true martyr.
I wish he didn't make himself a martyr. Yes, it brought massive protests, but in the long term the government will have him be gone from the public eye.
It's up to us as an international community. The world's governments clearly won't do a thing if we don't make it a thing. Just keeping news about him here is something. Let's not forget about him like we have with other martyrs, like we did with Chelsea Manning.
You are making the proper point.
At the point where the illusion becomes too expensive to maintain, they will just take down the scenery, they will pull back the curtains, they will move the tables and chairs out of the way, and you will see the brick wall at the back of the theater. Frank Zappa.
What a quote. What a man. Zappa was on par with Bill Hicks for seeing what our future would be.
Definitely. I read his autobiography, and one of the other predictions that is on point is his theory about nostalgia. This proves to be quite accurate as media over time bombards us more and more frequently in our daily lives. We get overloaded with shit to watch or listen to the point that things that happened last week seem so far away. We reminisce about them as if it were a memory from long ago. So in 3 to 6 months we'll hear about Navalny dying from fever. Prison riot, I guess.
Well, he could definitely catch drug-resistant TB, but apparently AIDS is the number 3 killer of Russian inmates. Those are some things that you could get sick from just by being there with no intervention.
Yeah, he'll dead of AIDS. Putin's AIDS.
Are you?
I don't think a Huggy Bear award is appropriate for either of these comments, guys.
2.5-year sentence. Totes legit. Edit. Apologies, my mistake, he's at IK2, which is actually in Pokrov.
Where you got a prison name?
It took some doing. I was wrong. He is at IK2 in Pokrov, an equally shitty prison labor camp.
They sentenced this man to death, basically.
Slow death. They tried fast death and failed.
It won't be more than 6 months before he's killed by another inmate in a totally unsolicited by the Russian government paid hit.
So what do you say, detective? Well, looks like another case of suicide by self-stabbing approximately 80 times in his chest. But his hands were cuffed to his waist. Shame.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.